just the facts, ma'am.
The second presidential debate reminds me of what I just talked about, where the mainstream media had to break through and just admit that Trump trumped on Biden, and he did exactly what people wanted him to do in the first debate, and unfortunately that would have been earlier and would have done him more good. But even the major media outlets had to admit that Trump had the facts, just the facts, and it's a very difficult path in terms of speaking the truth for Biden to argue any of the things that he tried to argue. Obamacare is a disaster, and it caused insurance rates to go up substantially. As we've talked about on previous Saving America episodes, it's people with pre-existing conditions cannot afford insurance. And I've spoken with some people in the last few days who again expressed outrage that people would say Obamacare protected people with pre-existing conditions, because if you do not put cost controls on that, and I have a formula for that, it's very simple. You just say if there's 6 or 7 group health providers or individual health providers in the state, then what you can do is you can say to them, you can charge 50% more than you charge anybody else if someone has a pre-existing condition, but you take those people round robin or proportionate to the number of people you have in a state. So if an insurance company has 500,000 insured in a state, and that represents 10% of the total insured population, then they would take 10% of people with pre-existing conditions at an increased rate, but a controlled rate. So there is certainly an easy fix for the situation, and one that Obamacare has never included because it is a failed program. Biden also attempted to say that things were going well with his economic recovery with him and Obama, and the fact is very straightforward. The Obama-Biden recovery was the worst recovery in the history of America, coming back from many, many recessions and the Great Depression. So that is certainly not anything you can run on. I think I mentioned after the first debate that one of the more interesting pieces was that Trump said, I got more done in 47 months than you did in 47 years. And it is true. Biden is a largely undistinguished individual. And so I thought that was very straightforward. And the economy has done very well. Trump did not carry this issue as well as he might have, but certainly the stock market has done remarkably well. And Biden said, oh, well, that's just about rich people. And you know what's interesting about that is that the majority of working Americans have either 401k plans from private insurers, or as I do at the University of St. Thomas, a 403b plan. These are tax-protected savings plans that are largely invested in the stock market. So most Americans have received a significant boost in the last almost 4 years because of the strong economy. Trump said under his breath during the debate last week, 401k plans, but he didn't really get to expand the issue, but I think it's quite clear. And so I think that overall, that for what good it does, again, being fairly late in the election cycle, I think that Trump won with the facts last Thursday night, and Biden did not distinguish himself. And of course, Biden subsequent to that has gotten out there because they're trying to push states like Texas and Georgia into the blue from the red zone. And what's happening in those situations is Biden, who's been hiding in the basement, has had to come out, and he's been out for more hours per day. And his gaffe machine protection of hiding in the basement is starting to fade. And famously, a couple days ago, Biden referred to the current president as George Bush, and his wife was sitting next to him, and under her breath, she corrected him. And he stumbled and said that, but he's really not a sharp guy. And, you know, I don't play to the idea that it's because he's 77 and he's gotten a little off his game, but he's some great guy. I have spent most of my time on the East Coast when I haven't been in Texas. I've known who Biden was for a long time because Biden has been a pathetic bumbler for his entire career. This is not something new. This is Biden being Biden. And I just have a hard time imagining the United States run by him. And I have a very hard time imagining that China, Russia, Iran have any fear of a Biden presidency. If anything, I think they would be quite happy. Again, Trump has ruined the Iranian economy by the sanctions, the very tough sanctions that he's put on Iran. So when people talk about election interference from both Russia and Iran, which is what we're hearing in the news right now, I think that their efforts would certainly be to sabotage Trump, not to help him. So anyway, but that's what's in the news this week.
Wow, what an exciting time this is. So we have less than 1 week. Well, 1 week from today, actually, when we have the election. And again, once again, let me remind you that you can get this book. There's a whole section in the book. And what is that section called, Dr. Schein? At the end of the book, where you kind of do a comparison of all of them, the analysis of 100 years of American presidents.
Yes, we talk about the economics. We talk about the marketing of the presidency. And I make a series of recommendations. And as you know, I'm a huge fan of, I think saving the American democracy is going to require term limits. And that could lead to a little bit more instability in government from some people's viewpoint. But I think it would be a very healthy thing to have more true representatives in Congress instead of these people who are in for 47 years and for 30 years and 40 years. And many of them are Republicans. This is a bipartisan observation. It's time for us to have a representative democracy, which was the founding fathers' design. And to do that, we need to send people to Washington, get the job done, and come home and live under the rules that they have passed.
I think that's great. And just flipping through these chapters on the analysis, the proposal for improving future American presidents, and then the media and creating the myths of American presidents. This is all the way from Woodrow Wilson to Barack Obama. So it does not include Trump, however, back 100 years from Barack Obama. So get this. Look to see how all the different presidents handled when they had a crisis. And all of them did. So check to see, do the analysis, the comparison, and then you can make an educated vote on November 3rd next week. So Dr. Schein, once again, thank you very much for taking the time to expound on what's in the news, what the rumors are, and then just the facts. So thank you very much, and look forward to talking to you again next week, which will be election day. We'll be talking next week. So
yes, ma'am.
We'll have a great time next week.
Thank you, Sandy. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Okay. Talk to you then. Bye.